all good people are asleep and dreaming.
This what I feel like. Yeah.
First of all, I guess we should talk about love. Being in love is... Okay, when a woman says, oh, I want to find the one and I want to be in love and I want real, true love, that's a direct road to dying alone. And for a man, when a man says that, it's a excuse to be a bachelor forever. So that concept is a little bit stupid. Let me read you a quote from one of my favorite philosophers, St. Augustine. He sums up love and the difference between infatuation and love very well. Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like volcanoes and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots have so entwined together that it is inconceivable that you should ever part. Because this is what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It is not excitement. It is not eternal passion. That is just being in love, which any fool can do. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away. And this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Those that truly love have roots that grow towards each other underground. And when all the pretty blossoms have fallen from their branches, they find that they are one tree and not two. Like, it's beautiful. So, let me modernize that. Love is not fireworks every time you kiss. Love is when your man gets up to help you when your toddler has been puking all night for a week straight, and he gets up to help you and wash all the puke off and give you a hug and kiss and reassure you that this is going to get better. I just remember talking to another YouTuber, Julie Borowski. I'll also link her below. And she made a really good and practical point about marriage, and she said, it's nice because it's like you can just check it off your checklist and focus on other things. It's done, you have to worry about it. And it doesn't sound romantic, but it's actually incredibly beneficial to your life, because I know many of my single friends that are, especially ones that are 30 and over, a lot of their time is consumed going on dates or trying to find love, and it takes up a lot of time. Like, whenever, especially when you're starting new relationships all the time, it just like sucks the energy out of you. It's like all you can think about, and it's all that's going on. And especially today with like all the texting and stuff, it's just everyone's unsure of themselves and unsure what the other person's thinking. So yeah, I agree with Julie. It's something that it's done. You don't have to think about it. Now you can work on your life together and on each other individually. One piece of advice I can give is, if you want a long-lasting and fulfilling relationship, don't do things like, oh, well, do I make them happy, or do they make me happy? Like, happiness is such an abstract concept and means such different things to different people. And like, personally for me, being happy isn't a priority. Like, I think happiness can actually be crippling. I did a video on this ages ago, if you want to dig it up on my channel. But yeah, so happiness isn't the key word here. The way you have a successful relationship is, every day you ask yourself, how can I make my significant other's day easier? That's like a very objective defined term, easier. You will go miles with this. Yeah, people really appreciate this kind of thing. And I mean, you can do it for your friends as well. It makes your friendships a lot more fruitful. But if, like, as a woman, and your man is stressed out and he comes home from work, or even if it's the weekend, just wake up and think, how can I make his day easier? And also, when you do this, you can quickly spot when the relationship is one-sided. If you're doing this constantly and they're not reciprocating that, you will notice that they're not doing it. And if it lasts long enough, I mean, have a conversation. But sometimes you're just with a piece of shit person and you don't want to be with that person anymore. So yeah, what can you do to make your significant other's day easier? Key to success, I promise you. If you want some tips, men, women, I mean, this is so cliche because it's so true. Women love it when you tidy up or like do one of their chores around the house. It's like it's really sweet and romantic because it's not your role, and when you do it, it is you going out of your way to do it. And we do notice. I mean, if it's a sane woman, she will notice. In women, lots of cuddles. Men love cuddles. Another thing I want to warn the girls of is if you slept with a lot of people and you tell your man that, or like you brag about it, like that's a huge turn off for guys. Like women, I feel like women don't get that. It's really bizarre to me. My sister was using this app called Yik Yak. I don't think it even exists anymore, but you like anonymously respond to people's comments in the geographical area. And some girl wrote how she told her current boyfriend, no, the boyfriend wrote that his girlfriend told him that she had had a threesome prior to their relationship starting. And he had these feelings of like disgust and like wanted to break up with her. And he, you know, he's feeling like this emotional turmoil. So he was like posting and seeing what people would say in terms of feedback. And everyone was like calling him a sexist. And my sister was the only one who was like, yeah, that's gross. You probably should break up with her. And she got banned, even though it was an anonymous app. Like she got banned off the app because she was like, yeah, you probably don't want to date someone who's had a threesome. If you tell your man that you want to marry about your sexual past and it happens to be extensive, he's probably not going to marry you. I'm just telling you the reality of the matter. I mean, obviously exceptions exist, obviously, and like interesting extensive sexual past is, you know, subjective to a degree, but I think anyone with common sense can like deduce what I'm trying to say here. What kind of society are we living in that the virgin has become a freak of nature? I met a girl who was a virgin and she was almost 30 and men just refused to sleep with her because it's too weird to them. So this is like a cyclical problem. It feeds into itself. So yeah, I'm not saying that nobody can have sex before marriage. Sexuality is different than promiscuity. You can have a beautiful, sexual, fulfilling existence. It just doesn't have to be with 17 different people. An interesting case study, if you can call it that, is, I don't know if you guys remember Jersey Shore. And it's funny because all those girls were kind of portrayed as very, very promiscuous and trashy. But at the end of the day, they kind of weren't. They all got married and had kids in their 20s, and they have that Catholic Italian core set of values that totally overruled the party culture that they were living live on TV. So I always thought that was so fascinating that someone could put on this tiny little dress and dance around, make out with a bunch of guys on camera, and then at the end of the day, no, I'm getting married, and I'm getting married young, and I'm having children. And it wasn't like a money-grubbing thing from the females, because they actually made loads of money independently from that show. Snooki, for example, she had made way more money than the guy she married. He installed ATM machines. A working class, hardworking dude. It was about having a family and settling down. And they actually lived with his mom in her basement for, I think, the first year of their son's life. I think for a while, which is like so traditional, like so Italian, because like I did that with my son. Like I moved back in with my parents, because a woman should have that support system in her life when she first has her baby, especially her first baby. And then I moved in with my man once I was comfortable enough to not have the help from the other females in my life. Like, and it's funny because they didn't have to think about that. That was just natural to them. That's how their families were. That's what was expected, and that's how their parents are. And even though they were on this like super modern, skanky, trashy show on MTV, like they still did the traditional thing. It just blew my mind. For those of you who are thinking, oh, traditionalism is archaic and it's so dated, and why would I do something that some dumb people in the past did? Well, you exist, don't you? I'm pretty sure you exist because of traditional means. And I'm pretty sure you probably don't have a family and children, so you are going to cut your lineage short. Like, you're going to cease your genes are going to cease to exist with that kind of attitude. Thanks for listening, and I wish everyone good luck. I'd love to keep talking about the subject, and if anyone has any questions that they would like me to go over in the next video, please leave them below. Or if you have a suggestion for a topic that's like under the umbrella of traditionalism, I'd love to help you get some insight into that topic.
Hold up. Don't judge me. My mama caught me with a strap. Don't judge me. I was young, fucking all the rats. Don't judge me. Aim it at your head for a stack. Don't